Welcome everyone. How are you people? I hope everyone is good. So let's start with another topic which is XY charts. Now, in previous videos we basically studied that what is bar chart or what are bar diagrams as a mode of data presentation. In this video what we are going to do, we shall concentrate on the XY graphs as a mode of data presentation. While bar charts are useful for visual presentation of the data, data related to time series and frequency distribution is best represented through XY or line graphs. This representation is widely used by, you can say, newspapers, televisions, government reports, magazines, and research papers. And besides, XY graphs are also very useful for determining trends, rate of change, and for illustrating comparisons with respect to some time series. So basically, how does XY chart look like? This is how it looks like. Okay, this is your y-axis. This is your x-axis. Y-axis is also known as ordinate, and x is called abscissa. This is your 0, which is also called origin. So this is your origin, 0. Alright, this is the point, which is this. Now this is your x-axis. So from your 0 towards your right hand side, all positive numbers are there. Whereas from this point towards your left hand side, all negative numbers are there. Similarly, when I talk about ordinate, when I go down, negative numbers will come, and when I go up, positive numbers will come. Alright, and then what I need to do, there will be some sort of data which is given to me. I just have to plot. So I'll just plot the points and points and points, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to join these points and I will get a XY curve. Similarly in this as well. So this is termed as my first quadrant. This is my second quadrant. This is my third quadrant, and this is my fourth quadrant. Alright, in first quadrant both y and x are positive. So when I talk about first quadrant, both x and y are what? Positive. When I talk about second quadrant, then y is positive, whereas x is negative. Then when I talk about my third quadrant, y is negative, whereas x is also negative. Correct? And when I talk about my fourth quadrant, then x is positive, whereas y is negative. So this is how the quadrants work. So this is for first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and my fourth quadrant. So this is first, second, third, and fourth. We have to move anti-clockwise. Correct? So these are the quadrants, and this is how my graph looks like when I talk in terms of XY charts. Now there are examples of various types of data presentation possible through these XY charts. Alright, I'm just going to name a few because this is not that important. The thing which is important is that we understand what this chart is and what all representation does this chart give us, and then the question part. Alright, so to name the types of data presentation possible through XY chart, it's your single dependent continuous variable graph, then more than one dependent variable graph, then graphs with two types of scales, then your range graph, your band graph, and your speed time graph. Now the thing is, I've named them, and if you want you can go and Google it, but I feel that that is not important. The thing which is important is that you understand that what this is, what this XY chart is, and then you concentrate on the questionnaire part. Alright, so now before moving to the questions, let's discuss what all we did once, and then we'll move towards the question part. Okay, so in XY chart, what all we discussed? We discussed that alright, there is this abscissa and ordinate and origin. And then we discussed that alright, we have the quadrants, we have first, second, third, and fourth quadrant, and what are the signs of x and y in these quadrants. Like in first quadrant we have x and y as both as positive, In second quadrant, I have y as positive and x as negative. In third quadrant, I have both x and y negative. And in fourth quadrant, I have x as positive and y as negative. So when I come from, like for example, I'm coming from, I do not have a different color pen, let's take blue. Okay. If I come from far end towards 0, like far from left hand side towards 0, that means I am approaching from minus infinity towards 0. This is 0. Okay, this is 0. And when I go towards the right hand side, that means I'm approaching positive infinity. Similarly, when from above I am, like from the origin, I would say, yeah, from the origin I am going upwards, then I'm approaching positive infinity. And when I am coming towards origin from below, I am coming from minus infinity. Alright, so why am I using the term approaching? Because I do not know what infinity is. I do not know what infinity is. The concept of infinity is vast and it's very, very interesting. If you want to read it, just Google it. I'll just tell you that, okay, we approach from infinity. Now, infinity is a concept. It cannot be a number. What does it mean? Basically, the thing is that if there is a number 0.00000, like suppose there are 10 zeros. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zeros, and then there is 1. Okay. So this is a number, and then there is number 10 lakhs. Okay. This is 10 lakhs and this is a number. Now for this number, this is also infinity. And for this number, 10 lakh, 1 rupee is also infinity because it's comparatively very, very large. Alright, so we always say that infinity is a concept. This is a little bit what I talked about, but if you want to learn more, just Google it. Alright, or you can just request, we can make another video on infinity as well. But yeah, you understood that how the approaching works, what are quadrants, what is xy, what is abscissa, what is ordinate, what is 0, what is origin, and everything. So let's dig deep into the questions. We have a few questions, let's do it and be done with the xy charts as well. Okay, so this is the first question and this is the graph which is given, and the graph shows what? Okay, this is my y-axis, okay, and this is my x-axis. So my y-axis here is continuous, whereas it's the x-axis is discrete, correct? Now this represents what? It represents consumer price index. So this is going to be my consumer price, and it is index of what? 2008 to 9, correct? So this is going like this. This is the curve which is given. So we understood what the graph is. Now let's answer few questions. Okay, these are the questions which we need to answer. Okay, the numbering here is a little bit bad. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Okay. Okay. So what's the first question? The first question says, which month showed the highest absolute difference in consumer price index CPI over the previous month? So we have to show the highest absolute difference. So the highest absolute difference is where? Highest absolute difference, I would say April. Correct? So it has to be April. Next is, which month showed the highest percentage difference in CPI over the previous month? Again, it's going to be April. Alright, so clearly from the graph you can see, from the XY chart you can see that it's April. So there is no calculations, there is nothing. So we just saw the graph, we understood what the graph is, and by looking at graph itself we can say alright that it's April. Okay, now question number 3. Question number 3 says, how many months was the CPI greater than 350? So CPI greater than 350, oh my god, what is happening? CPI greater than, okay, this is my CPI. CPI greater than 350, I would say, is for 2 months. One is of April, as you can see here, one is of April, and the second one is of July, right? The second one is of July. So for April and July, that means 2 months. So the answer is 2. Question number 4. Question number 4 says, how many months was there a decrease in CPI? So in how many months was there a decrease in CPI? So let's see the chart. So there was a decrease in March, so 1, and then there was an increase, and then again a decrease in May. So one decrease was in March and one One decrease was in March. I should change the color always so that you people do not get confused. So one was in March and the other one was in what? May. So here the answer is going to be 2 months. Now fifth question. The fifth question says the difference in the number of months in which there was an increase in CPI and the number of months in which there was a decrease was. Okay. So I have to calculate the difference of the months in which there was an increase and in the months in which there was a decrease. Now if I see the curve, then the increase was in 3 months. So the increase was apparently in 3 months. I can say April, June and July. So it was in April, it was in June and it was in July. So if I say pink, I would say pink represents my increase. Alright. And then I have to say the decrease. So the decrease was in again 2 months, March and May. We have already done this. So yellow represents your decrease. So that means the increase was in 3 months and decrease was in 2 months. Alright, and I want to find the difference. So increase minus decrease, that is 3 minus 2 is going to be 1. So the answer is 1. And so the first question of XY charts is done. It was very simple. Let's recap it. We did nothing. We basically saw the chart and then we discussed what the questions are. We looked at the chart simultaneously while solving the questions and we got the answer. As simple as that. Now we are going to do another question. So the question is your sales history of Lux brand of soap. So there is this very nice brand of Lux. I also used a soap from it. It was a pink bar, rosy fragrance or something. I don't remember much, but yeah, okay. Let's come back to the question. So it's the Lux brand of soap. So now these are the sales history of Lux brand. So it's from Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October and November. And these are your sales. Okay, these are your sales. So these are the sales which are continuous. So this is your y-axis. And this is my x-axis. And this is your discrete. So this is your months. And these are my sales. Alright. So let's go to the question. Okay. Here also numbering is a problem. Let's sort this out. I do not know why this is happening, but let's focus on questions instead of numbering. Okay. 3, 4, 5. And this is something. Okay. So question 1. Question 1 says, for how many months was the sales at its lowest monthly level? Okay. So for how many was it at the lowest monthly level? Now the sales value, if I would say the sales value was 7,000 at its lowest. So it was, I would say, for 3 months, right? For June, July and August, because here it's June, then we have July and then we have August. So I would say for 3 months. So the answer has to be 3, correct? So the answer is 3. Next question is the ratio of number of months in which there was a decrease to the number of months in which there was no decrease in the sales value. So I have to find the ratio of the number of months in which there was a decrease to the number of months in which there was no decrease. So I have to find the ratio. Now you have to be very vigilant about the order in which the ratio was asked. So the order in which the ratio is asked is number of months in which there was a decrease to number of months in which there was no decrease. So no one baad mein hai. Alright. So in 2 months, I guess out of 11 there was a decrease. So here it's constant, then increase. Then here it's a decrease, then decrease. Then there is constant, then increase. So these are the 3 months, I guess 3 to 2 months. Here we cannot say decrease. The decrease basically started from April, because in June you can say it's constant. So it was for May and for April, correct? Because from June it went constant. So there are 2 months and those 2 months are April and May. So for April and May it was decreasing. That means in which it was decreasing was 2 months. So for 2 months it was decreasing. Now comes to the non-decreasing one. Obviously there are how many months given? There are 12 months given, correct? But for December there is no analysis. because till December we are calculating. That means from the start of December, because see, this is where January started. From here it's January, then from here it's Feb, then March, then April, May, June, July, then August, September, October and November. So that means there is no analysis of December. So if there is no analysis of December, that means that out of 12 months, only 11 months analysis is given. So out of 12 months, I have analysis for only 11 months. And out of 11 months, 2 months are showing decreasing trends. That means 9 months are showing increasing trends. So the ratio is from decreasing to increasing. That means 2 months decreasing and 9 months increasing. So the ratio has to be 2:9. Now you have to be very very vigilant here. Why? Because हमें order ध्यान में रखना है. Now suppose the question, suppose the question is already given that we have to find the ratio of the number of months in which there was a decrease to the number of months in which there was no decrease. Now suppose my answer is 2:9, but in the option, both option is given 2:9 and 9:2. Then automatically people will get confused. यार मैं क्या mark करूँ? So you have to be very very clear that what ratio is asked. It's a decrease to no decrease. So decrease is 2, no decrease is 9. So ratio is going to be 2:9. It's not 9:2. Alright. Now question number 3. So question number 3 states the number of months which exhibit a sale volume greater than 12.5 of the overall annual sales volume. Now for question 3, let's read the question again. The question says the number of months which exhibit a sales volume which is greater than 12.5% of the overall annual sales volume. Alright, so the total sales volume was 97,000. If I am, oh my god, okay, let's just, okay, so we were on question 3, right? Oh my god. Okay, so question 3, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, correct? So we were on question 3, right? So I want which is greater than 12.5%, correct? So now here the total sales volume is 97,000. So here I can say approximately 97,000. This is not 97,000. Yep. So here the total volume is 97,000, which was provided. Okay, so 97,000 is given. Now 12.5% of this value would mean 1/8 of this value, correct? Because we want what? We want 12.5%, because we are greater than 12. We want greater than 12%. So that means 97,000 का अगर मैं 12% लूँगी, that means 1/8 of that value, correct? That means what? 1/8 of that value, if I calculate it, has to be 12,000. That means more than 12,000 is what I want. And more than 12,000, if I say, this has never occurred during the time. That more than 12,000, because more than 12,000 में तुम गए ही नहीं है ना. More than 12,000 में तुम गए ही नहीं है. So that means none of the above should be the option here. Correct? Here it was 2:9, and the first one was 3, I guess. Yes. Question number 4. Question number 4 says the highest percentage increase was shown in which month? So highest percentage increase. Now if I talk about highest percentage increase, now you can see यहाँ पे ये constant है. Here is the increase. Then we have decrease, constant. So here is the increase. Then constant, and here is the increase. So all the points which I'm marking with blue shows increment. So I need to find the highest percentage increase. Now if I go, now you can say that September has the least initial value and the highest growth, correct? Because September shows the highest growth and the least initial value. Hence it has the highest percentage increase. Common sense. Okay, what does it says? It says that September shows the highest growth and the least. What I am saying is that September shows the highest growth and the least initial value. So obviously it will show the highest percentage increase. So answer has to be September. Yeah, we have September. Alright, so the last question. The highest absolute increase was shown in which month? So highest, I would say, highest if I talk about, then I would say if I talk about March, and I talk about April, and we also talk about September. So March, April and September all show an increase of 1000 units, right? According to my analysis, you can see that from 8000 to 9000, then 9000 to 10, and from here also from 8 to 9. So all these 3 months, that is your March, April and September, shows what? An increment of 1000 units, which is the highest increase, correct? Because उसके अलावा तो हर चीज़ ही डिक्रीज हो रही है या कांस्टेंट है या फिर उससे कम है, इंक्रीमेंट विच इज इन अक्टूबर. So that means all three of them shows an increment of 1000 units, and the answer is March, April and September. So all three of them. So all three of them, that is my option D, is what is the answer. So here we end with this as well. So let's fatafat se recap of what all we have done, and then we can move forward. So we initially talked about that what are XY charts, and we talked that all right, how can we represent all the information on this graph I've shown. I don't know why it has raised. It's probably due to the bad technology which I'm using, but still let's pretend the things are here. Abscissa, ordinate, infinity, sorry, negative infinity to infinity, first ordinate, second, third and fourth, not the ordinate but the quadrants. So first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant, these are the quadrants. Okay, then positive and negative signs, and then we talked about the consumer price index questions. We did all these questions. Then we talked about the second question, which was sales history of Lux brand of soap. We did all these questions, and we are at the end of the video. So we have done the XY charts. I hope you people understood it. It was very, very simple. It was pretty simple, right? It was only that what is XY chart and then a few questions related to that. This is the way questions are going to come. You have to practice more and more. And if you people feel that you want more videos and more content, more practice paper on XY charts, then you can visit the EduRev website or app. You can click on the courses there. You can select the CAT option. Then you can select the DI option, and you can get all the content, whatever you want from there. So thank you very much. Have a good day.